All right.
Hey, Popo, how you doing? Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. How's it going?
Terrific. We'll start with some questions. If anybody has, use the raise hand functions for questions for Popo. AJ, go ahead.
Hey, Popo, I was just kind of wondering, Coach DeRuiter comes in here and installs a bit of a different defensive scheme. How's it been different for you up front?
I love it. I mean, it's a whole new scheme, and it allows us to play more free. And I think that's the biggest plus side is everybody's is free to play. So
We'll go to James Crepia.
Popo, when you guys are in the 2-down line a lot, are you usually in the 0 and shade still, or when you're 2 down, do the 2 tackles move to traditional 3s, or are you still able to be a 0 or a shade when it's 2 down?
So we incorporated both 3-man front and 4-man front. So on the playbook, there's no specific nose or tackle. They just both say like they have both letter T, which means we're both tackles. So everybody's interchangeable now on this defense, and I like that a lot. So I'll be playing both nose all the way to 4-eye sometimes.
Go Dylan, Ducks Digest.
Hey, Popo, how has the offensive line progressed from this year to from last year? Because that's been one of the biggest talks of the spring so far, is how much they've improved.
Just from communication, everybody's taking positive steps, and I think communication, I see them communicate way more than they did last year, even just in practice. So, I mean, besides the strength and conditioning that we do, communication has been huge for me, that I've noticed for them as well.
Go back to AJ.
Popo, you're one of the veterans of the defensive line now. How is it different in the defensive line meeting room now that you're, kind of the veteran of the group?
It's different. I mean, coach kind of relies on me like as a leadership, and being a veteran is allowing me to step into that leadership role more over these younger guys, especially with the new freshmen that just came in. And I'm really enjoying it. It's new, definitely, but a lot of leadership roles for me. So
We'll go to James.
How do you evaluate success for you? Because if I ask this for like any defensive tackle, Popo, because for fans especially, they're just going to look at tackles, and sometimes it's not always production. They don't understand that filling up gaps is a major responsibility. So how much are you aware of it, I guess, during the course of a game, and how much you have to actually go back and film review and say, all right, that is actually, you did exactly what you want, even though it doesn't show up in a box score, and how do you evaluate that, and how do the coaches evaluate that?
kind of like you said, filling gaps is a huge thing. And I look at it just doing my 1/11th on the field at that time. And whether it's filling the gap and having the linebacker come in the other gap right next to me and make the tackle, then I'll take that as doing my job. So
Max Torres.
Popo, you guys are, losing a couple of people along the defensive front with Austin and Jordon's departures. What do you feel, is the strength of this defensive line right now in spring, and how do you feel about the depth going into next year?
I feel like we have great depth. The young guys are insanely talented and super strong. So I'm very excited. And even the guys who were here last year, who made a big step, like Dorlis, Keon, and Christian, I'm very excited to see them as well. I think we have plenty of depth on the D-line and plenty of playmakers to come.
Go ahead, AJ.
Jordon Scott kind of was in the middle of that defensive line for 4 straight years there. What would you say now that he's gone were the big things you learned from him?
Fundamentals, a lot of fundamentals from him. I mean, he taught me how to take on a bump combo, which is definitely hard when you got 200-300 pounders on top of you. But he taught me really how to play nose along with Coach Joe. When I first came in, I was too afraid to ask Coach Joe certain questions. I would lean to Jordon, and he would always have an answer for me. So I wish him luck in the draft, especially with all the other Oregon drafts. Wish them luck today. So.
Hey, anything else for Popo today? All right, we can let you go. Thanks for your time, Popo.
Thank you for having me.